Hey, what's up again? I found this really amazing picture that shows how um, the Egyptian eye, the eye of Ra, looks exactly like the pineal gland pretty much. From the side, it's like the eye pupil is right here where the pineal gland is, and then that design itself looks just like the eye of Ra. So y'all should really look at that. The Egyptians knew what was up. Um, but yeah, in Swedenborgian language, according to him, whenever Egypt is mentioned in the Bible, it actually just means factual knowledge itself. It's the Bible. Swedenborg's really opened my eyes. The Bible is not just literal stories of literal happenings. Apparently, every single iota of a word is metaphorical of something else. Um, like Canaan symbolizes outward forms of worship, kind of like Judaism and stuff. And it's pretty much the Bible is actually telling us the spiritual relationship between heaven and earth, and the church's history of decline since the flood. Sorry, I'm like flooding with ooze because I'm kind of sick, but I feel fine. I just sound terrible. But anyway, um, like when Noah's Ark happened, it's not literally Noah's Ark. Swedenborg says that making humankind like the fish of the sea symbolizes making us sense-oriented. So the flood is really most likely symbolic of us becoming like the fish of the sea in the sense that we become devolved again. The flood is about us being punished because we used our heightened senses like in an overkill kind of way, and then we had to become blind again. The fall, and then enlightenment, the resurrection is about becoming closer to that spirit realm again through evolution. um, what's interesting is that Swedenborg also says that most non-Christian there's more non-Christians that are saved than Christians, and that's so interesting for a Christian to say, because it's the first to really imply that it's what's in your heart that matters. And if you're not a Christian, you don't know the word, then you can't blaspheme it. And this is something I've been asking on YouTube for years. It's like, if I lived on Mars, never knew of Jesus, would I go to hell? I always thought it was impractical. But Swedenborg answered that. He says, no, you just, you, you have a clean slate. It doesn't matter. I just find that so interesting. And when we do pass and we have like a whole, like, our life flash before our eyes, you know, and we do a lot of drugs in our life, are we going to remember that life as if we were on drugs during those times? Or are we going to be like having a flashback and we'll be totally sober when we visualize our whole life, even when we were on mushrooms at what point? Like, what is, I was just curious about that. Um, so yeah, finally, I find out something, and then I find out it was already found out, 12 years before I was born. In 1975, this book, Life After Life, by Raymond Moody, already tied in Swedenborg with the near-death experience. Okay, I thought I was, I didn't think I was the first, but I just thought I was the one who really. Anyway, so I just randomly picked it up and it said Swedenborg, and it's talking about a couple similarities between the, near-death experience and Swedenborg's experience. But it was only like 5 pages. I have so much more information. So it's like a sequel to Life After Life. I'm just, picking up on these things randomly. And then I find out, of course, it already existed. So yeah, Dolores Cannon, very interesting. It's exactly what I was looking for. It really, I've only started Legend of Star Crash, which is really amazing. But I'm going to really get into all of her stuff because I do think there's some truth to it. And also there's this book, American Nietzsche, and on page 100, it talks exactly about all the similarities between Nietzsche's teachings and Jesus himself. Isn't that amazing? We have Hardin, Hardin. He said, "We find a gospel which has much in common with the spirit of Christianity." And Figgis, Figgis, says, "A doctrine precisely," he says, "his noble vision of the value of sacrifice and hardship for the strengthening of the self recalled a doctrine precisely similar to that of our Lord." That's what Figgis says. And then there's this other guy, Warbeck, Warbeke. He's detected in Nietzsche the passionate poet of a higher humanity who had affinities with the original transvaluator of all values. And he was another moral rebel who had prophesied for personalities, for independent thinkers, for men who feared no law as such. He's the cure to the great disappointment. End of story. And that's the first time I've really read how people, once again, already did think Nietzsche was a little similar to Jesus. But anyway. Yeah, I think that's enough truth for today. Y'all have a good one.